If you spend any time in foot health communities online, you have almost certainly encountered the barefoot shoe movement. The passionate followers of brands like the Vivo Barefoot, Zero Shoes, and Lems will tell you that conventional footwear has been destroying your feet for your entire life, and that switching to a zero-drop, wide toe box, minimally cushioned shoe is the single best thing you can do for your foot health. Some of them will tell you it cured their plantar fasciitis, fixed their bunions, and transformed the way they move. And on the other side, you have people who have tried barefoot shoes, got injured, and are convinced they are dangerous fad. So what does a podiatrist who sees foot injuries every single day actually think? That is what we are going to talk about today. But before we get into it, if you find this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I'm Dr. Drew Taft, podiatrist at Foot and Ankle Associates of Southern New Hampshire, and I want to give you the most honest, balanced take I can on this topic. Because the truth, as usual, is more nuanced than either side of the debate tends to admit. So let's start by defining what we actually are talking about, because barefoot shoes and minimalistic shoes are terms that get used interchangeably, but they are not exactly the same thing. True, barefoot shoes, brands like Vivo Barefoot and Zero Shoes have essentially zero cushioning, zero heel to toe drop, and are very flexible thin sole. The idea is to simulate the experience of walking or running completely barefoot while still protecting the bottom of your foot from sharp objects and rough surfaces. Minimalist shoes are a broader category. They share the philosophy of barefoot shoes, wide toe box, low or zero heel drop, flexible soles. But they may have a modest amount of cushioning. Brands like Lems, Topo Athletics, and Ultras fall into this category. Both types share a few key design principles that set them apart from conventional footwear, and those principles are worth understanding. The first is heel to toe drop. Conventional running shoes typically have a heel drop of 8 to 12 millimeters, meaning the heel sits significantly higher than the forefoot. Barefoot and minimalistic shoes have a drop of 0 to 4 millimeters. The second is toe box width. Conventional shoes, particularly dress shoes and many athletic shoes, taper towards the toe, compressing the forefoot and preventing the toes from spreading naturally. Barefoot and minimalistic shoes have a wide foot-shaped toe box that allows for the toes to splay. And the third is sole stiffness. Conventional shoes have significant midsole cushioning and often a rigid structure. Barefoot and minimalistic shoes have thin, flexible soles that allow the foot to feel and respond to the ground. Now here's where I want to be genuinely fair to the barefoot community. There are real evidence-supported benefits to these design principles. The wide toe box is probably the most universally beneficial feature. When toes are allowed to spread naturally, the intrinsic muscles of the foot are activated more effectively. The foot functions more like the biomechanical structure it was designed to be, rather than being squeezed into a narrow point. Research has shown that wider toe boxes are associated with better balance, stronger foot muscles, and reduced forefoot pathology over time. I recommend wide toe box footwear to many of my patients, regardless of whether they are interested in going full minimalistic or not. The lower heel drop is also generally beneficial for many people. A high heel drop shortens the Achilles tendon and calf complex over time, which is a contributing factor in plantar fasciitis, Achilles tendinopathy, and calf tightness. Reducing heel drop gradually encourages the calf and the Achilles to lengthen and strengthens the posterior chain. The research on barefoot and minimalistic running also shows that it tends to encourage a midfoot or forefoot strike pattern rather than a heel strike, which can reduce impact forces on the knee and hip. So yes, there are real benefits. The barefoot community is not making things up. But here's where I have to be equally honest about the risks, because this is where I see patients get into trouble. The single biggest problem with barefoot and minimalistic shoes is not the shoes themselves, it is the transition. Your feet have spent your entire life, potentially decades, in conventional footwear with cushioning, arch support, and a raised heel. Your intrinsic foot muscles are likely underdeveloped. Your Achilles tendon and calf complex are likely shortened and tight. Your plantar fascia is accustomed to a certain level of support. So when you take all of that away overnight, start walking or running in a zero drop, zero cushion shoe, you are asking tissues that have never had to work that hard to suddenly absorb the full load of your body weight with no assistance. The result is predictable. I see it regularly in my clinic. Patients come in with plantar fasciitis that started 2 weeks after they switched to barefoot shoes. Achilles tendinopathy from sudden increase in tendon load. Metatarsal stress fractures from the shift in forefoot loading. Calf strains from the dramatic change in muscle demand. And none of these injuries are caused by the barefoot shoes being inherently bad. They are caused by transitioning too fast. The foot can adapt remarkably well to minimalistic footwear, but it needs time. Months, not weeks. So who is a good candidate for barefoot or minimalistic shoes? Generally speaking, younger patients with healthy feet, good foot strength, and no significant structural pathology tend to do well with a gradual transition. People with flexible, flat feet who have been told they need maximum motion control may actually benefit from building foot strength through minimalistic footwear, but again, gradually and with guidance. Patients with mild bunions or hammer toes often find that the wide toe box of minimalistic shoes is significantly more comfortable than conventional footwear, and who should be cautious or avoid them altogether? Patients with rigid high arches and supination. The foot type we discussed in last week's video are often poor candidates for zero cushioning barefoot shoes because their feet already lack shock absorption. Removing that last bit of cushioning from their footwear can significantly increase impact loading on the metatarsals and the lateral ankle. Patients with active plantar fasciitis, Achilles tendinopathy, or posterior tibial tendon dysfunction should not be switching to barefoot shoes while those conditions are flaring. The increased demand on already stressed tissues will make things worse. Patients with diabetic neuropathy should avoid thin-soled barefoot shoes entirely because the reduced protective sensation combined with minimalistic sole thickness significantly increases the risk of undetected injury. And older patients with significant fat pad atrophy, the natural thinning of the cushioning on the bottom of the foot that happens with age, may find that the lack of cushioning in barefoot shoes is simply too uncomfortable and too hard on their joints. If you do want to try barefoot or minimalistic shoes, here is my honest recommendations for how to do it safely. Start with the wide toe box. You do not have to go to the zero drop or zero cushioning on day one. Find a shoe with a wide toe box and a moderate drop, something in the 4 to 6 millimeter range, and wear it daily, walking for a few weeks. Let your toes start to spread and your foot muscles start to wake up. Then before you go further, start doing strengthening exercises. The short foot exercise, toe yoga, and calf stretching are all essential preparations for a minimalistic transition. We will cover those in detail in an upcoming video. Only after you have built some foot strength and your feet have adapted to the wider toe box should you consider reducing the heel drop further. And do it gradually. Drop a few millimeters at a time over several months. Never start running in barefoot shoes before you have had spent significant time walking in them. The loading demands of running are dramatically higher than walking, and the transition needs to be proportionately slower. My overall take on barefoot shoes is this. The philosophy behind them is sound. Feet are strong, mobile, and allowed to function naturally are healthier feet. But the modern foot that has lived in conventional shoes for 30 or 40 years cannot simply be handed a pair of Vivo barefoots and told to go for a run. The transition has to be earned. If you are curious about whether barefoot or minimalistic footwear might be right for your specific foot type and any conditions you are dealing with, come in and see us at Foot and Ankle Associates of Southern New Hampshire. We do a full biomechanical assessment and can give you a personalized recommendation, whether this is a gradual minimalistic transition, a wide toe box stability shoe, or a custom orthotic, or something else entirely. Contact information is in the description below. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe. Thanks again for watching, and take care of your feet, and I will see you in the next video.